Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Okay, let's be clear about something. There are rumors about why Joker 2 Folie Dieu went the way it did. And there are people saying that the studios and Hollywood hate the fans and they're deliberately doing films that they don't want to see and doing films they will hate and making sure that they can't enjoy these films. It's true. I'm sorry because unfortunately, the majority of the fans for these franchises, particularly superhero films, are toxic. And Hollywood is very liberal and very, left leaning and LGBT friendly and so forth. And they refuse to make films for MAGA bigots. And they are deliberately making films in spite of them. And unfortunately, for some of these franchises, they're the main audience. They're the majority of the people that watch these films, that the fan base, the people who really obsess about these films and buy all the merchandise and do all the videos and get them all the clicks and attention and views and all that, they're right-wing, MAGA, toxic fan, incel bigots. And yes, Hollywood hates those people. Now, yes, there's another whole half of the country which is normal people, but they do sort of watch the odd superhero film. That's how some of the bigger films got to make $1 billion, because they didn't just bring in the regular fans, they brought in the general audience as well. But they're not bothered by having gay characters in these films. They're not bothered by having female leads and stuff. Like they're not bothered by any of this stuff. So they're fine. They're not making the films for them, but they're not bothered because they're like nice in the middle. They're making it for the left. The left is Hollywood's making films for the left because that's their political perspective, and they're making a lot of films in spite of the extreme right, incel, toxic fan, MAGA bigot crowd. So yeah, that's definitely happening. But the funny thing is, you see these MAGA bigots saying, I'm just going to call them maggots. You see these maggots going on about how, Hollywood hates you, they hate the audience, they're making films to spite you, No, they're making films to spite you, you maggot. That's what's happening here. And they're trying to convince the sort of the general audience that these films are bad because they hate you, when they don't hate them, they hate the maggots. So, but there is sort of like a middle ground of people who sort of do like the films, but not for all the regressive reasons the maggots do. Yeah, so some of them do get sort of indoctrinated into, they get red pilled. But for the most part, people just don't know what the fuss is about, and they just go and enjoy the films, and they're not bothered, like I said, by a female, lead for an action movie or something like that. They're not bothered by a black version of traditionally white character or whatever. So the country is pretty much split. You've got the extreme, right-wing maggots, and you've got the extreme left, people. And then you've sort of got the middle ground general audience that sort of sways more in that direction. But yeah, so it's not a complete 50-50 split of the country or the audience, but it's pretty close. So it's a mess, it's a disaster, and it's just funny to see all the maggots saying, they're making the film to spite you, the general public and the fans. And it's like, no, they're making it against you, the extreme fans. The general fans were never bothered by the things that now you've made into a culture war and drawn them into. So I just found it really funny. I just watching a lot of there's a lot of videos about Joker and all that, and I saw some people talking about that particular issue, and I'm like, yes, they did make this film despite the audience, the extremists in the audience, but not the general audience. So yes, like when those people are carrying on, they do have a point. It's just they're the cause, and it's their fault. And there are toxic fans. All those people screaming there's no toxic fans. There are definitely toxic fans, and they try and act like they're the normal fans, and when they attack them, that they're attacking all the fans. And it's always, oh, they hate the fans. And no, they hate you. And people with some intelligence can distinguish between the two, and you're not going to fool people into thinking that they hate them because they hate you. They hate your politics, so they hate them as well. No, but some of the films that are very agenda driven are not as fun. So some of the general audience is sensing that there's something else happening here, and they're not just getting the old fashioned sort of fun movie they were expecting, but they're not being sucked into the culture war and drawn into it all like they want them to. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the whole situation. And I'm just going to use maggot now to refer to anyone in that realm because it just makes it a lot easier.